Ed Miliband is facing serious accusations of dishonesty, with critics branding him a pathological liar who's not even attempting to conceal it anymore. The backlash isn't just coming from political opponents. Shockingly, members of his own cabinet are now openly criticizing him over a recent taxpayer scandal that has sparked public outrage. This controversy has added fuel to growing discontent among voters, raising questions about accountability and transparency at the highest levels. Stay tuned as we dive into the details of this explosive story and uncover what it means for Miliband's political future. The British public might be justified in thinking Ed Miliband is entirely out of his depth, a politician whose photo ops in high-vis jackets and hard hats fail to mask the chaos and poor judgment that define his leadership. The latest scandal surrounding him only adds to the mounting evidence of mismanagement and questionable priorities. Reports reveal that £43,000 of taxpayers' money has allegedly vanished, supposedly spent on refurbishing his office at the Department for Net Zero. When confronted during a radio interview, Miliband stumbled and deflected, offering a weak excuse about focusing on the nation's energy system. But focus on what? Exactly? Certainly not on accountability for public funds. He couldn't even confirm if the money had been spent on something as mundane as a new office chair. This isn't an isolated incident. It's part of a troubling pattern. Miliband is also under fire for a £4 million donation to the Labour Party and a £99,000 personal gift linked to a group tied to his recently appointed climate envoy. When questioned about whether these funds were properly declared, he dodged the issue like a seasoned escape artist. Transparency and accountability clearly aren't part of his playbook. Let's scrutinize his so-called energy policies, which he touts as the backbone of his vision for Britain's future. Miliband has doubled down on wind turbines and solar farms as the ultimate solution for the nation's energy needs. Yet, his push to classify these projects as nationally significant infrastructure strips local councils and communities of the power to challenge them, effectively sidelining public opinion. While Miliband preaches about a green energy revolution, the reality paints a very different picture. Just yesterday, wind power contributed a mere 8.3% of the nation's electricity, while gas shouldered the majority of the demand. Worse still, the UK has spent over £1 billion this year alone shutting down wind turbines to avoid overloading the grid. If this is his version of renewable energy success, one shudders to think what failure might look like. Miliband boasts that renewables will generate £40 billion in investment, but the financial burden is falling squarely on ordinary Britons. Skyrocketing energy bills and hidden green levies are funding this pipe dream. Meanwhile, £22 billion has already been funneled into carbon capture projects that have yet to produce meaningful results. And while he talks up green jobs, thousands of real, hard-working jobs in steelworks, coal plants, and oil rigs are disappearing under his watch. What about nuclear energy? For a fraction of the cost of HS2, Britain could have built 2 nuclear power plants capable of supplying energy to 12 million homes with stable, low-carbon electricity. Yet, Miliband has ignored this practical and proven solution in favor of an unreliable patchwork of renewables that falters when the wind doesn't blow. Miliband's leadership, or lack thereof, isn't just a series of blunders. It's a full-blown crisis for Britain. His policies aren't based on pragmatism or fiscal responsibility, but on a utopian green agenda that doesn't hold up to scrutiny. The cost of his mismanagement is being paid by everyday citizens, from rising energy bills to lost livelihoods. Let's call it what it is. Ed Miliband is steering Britain toward an expensive and unsustainable future. His inability to address scandals, ensure transparency, or deliver effective energy solutions exposes a politician more concerned with optics than real outcomes. What do you think? Are Miliband's policies reckless ambition or sheer incompetence? Share your thoughts below.